simplified so that by the time you get to the board meeting, you can be productive, you can know what the differences of opinion are, acknowledge them, and then move on, right? Because for, what companies really need is to set a plan, commit to a plan, and operate to a plan. And just as if you have an executive who's stonewalling, who says, okay, yes, this is the plan, but I don't like it, and I'm not going to do it, right? Which they can say with their body language all day, even though those words aren't coming out of their mouth. And then you also find that, by the way, those features are not in the product, or those territories are not opened up, or those salespeople are not hired. That kind of not operating the plan is incredibly debilitating inside the company, and it's just, it's frustrating and grating in a board meeting. Hopefully it's not actually stopping the company from doing things, but I also think in board meetings when you have executives present, non-CEO executives present, and there's dissension in the board ranks, then that filters through and causes all sorts of disruption and uncertainty in the management team, because then the management team doesn't know, should they listen to the CEO, should they listen to these other directors, and they don't realize that, that dissenting director might be there for 3 hours every quarter and not really have very much context, and can easily be shined on, but those words that he or she says in the meeting carry a lot of weight down to the operational VP level. So I think this is, it's one of those situations where the CEO or another director can spend some personal capital on behalf of the company, making those one-on-one phone calls and trying to bridge the differences. I think everybody also has to recognize that for investor board members, we wear 2 hats. We wear a board member hat, which is we have a fiduciary responsibility to the entire shareholder base, and in sticky situations, specifically to the creditors, that is different than our fiduciary responsibility as investors to our investors. And sometimes those 2 roles are aligned, and sometimes they are at odds with each other. And you have to be able to acknowledge that, and it's a very mature board member who can say, as a director, I will approve this transaction, but I can't speak for my, but it may be that my firm is going to vote against it as a shareholder. And that, hopefully we avoid those kind of situations and figure out in advance what the company is going to do about that. But you as operational folks have to recognize that your investor board members have those 2 different jobs. And so even though something is, quote, the best for the company, and it's not the best for an individual shareholder, that shareholder base has a right to act differently than what the board is